What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? No one's gonna even be able to win the league. You don't have the best boy. All these teams are trash. No Gyarados, not by a single person, and then have it stolen from me in the other league. I can't even. I can't. I'm lost for words. Okay. Let's see what you guys did. See how you did. Let's get this thing started. At number 1, we have Durham. So, just a quick explanation to the rating score. I had 5 criteria I was looking at for everybody. Those criteria were offensive pressure, defensive core, hazards, hazard removal, and overall team synergy. Took the average, and that's how I based the rankings. And this is all, again, this is kind of my opinion, so my team building abilities are, lackluster most of the time. So take this as a grain of salt for what you want. But these are the official Magikarp League power rankings. So, starting off Durham. I actually really like this team from top to bottom. It has pressure both on the physical and special side offensively between Gengar, Darmanitan, and Primarina. I mean, that right there is just enough to just chunk through most teams. Then it has the ability to kind of pivot through with Rotom, and I do like the Noivern pick for a little bit of hazard control as well. I think that's nice. Wish Passing is going to be appreciated with Umbreon, and then we have a set hazard stacker now in Ferrothorn, who is honestly, the value's gone up, I believe, without the with no HP Flyer floating around. So I think that's a great addition. Lycanroc Dusk, I'm pretty sure it's going to get some kills and gives you a little bit of hazards. But overall, I really like this team. It's very scary from top to bottom, pretty balanced as well, and just nothing really stuck out. So we gave it an 8.25, and it's number 1 in the power rankings. At number 2, we have Arizona. As this team was drafting, I didn't realize how much I liked it until I went back and looked at it as a whole. It's actually very solid. Starting with its defensive core, with Clefable, Jellicent is going to be nice. With G-Max Corviknight, it's also going to be tough to break down, and they cover each other's weaknesses rather well. I actually like that a lot. And then you have some great wall breakers with Mamoswine, Haxorus, and Drapion can actually sneak in there and do some stuff too. The only thing I do not really appreciate with this team, and this is just nitpicking, it doesn't have great special, just blunt force. But it kind of makes up for that with the ability to set up with Clefable, Celebi can set up as well, and then Webs, this team appreciates that as well, so it'll be nice. That way you can run stuff like Banded Haxorus, Banded Mamo, and then it has pretty decent hazard removal with Corviknight. And then you got 2 Rapid Spinners, and then Hitmonlee is kind of a nice little gimmick there at the end. So, for a low-tier pick, I like that a lot. But, yeah, I thought this was actually a really good team when I looked at it put together as a whole. So that's why it's sitting here at number 2, 7.95. All right, number 3, Wooloo Mooloo. I hope we said that right. I thought this was one of the stronger teams as well, especially as it was being put together. Was able to get its top core pick there with Excadrill and T-Tar, which is always nice. Sand's also always pretty scary in draft. I like the Rotom Heat pick. That's always a solid pick there. Como can do a lot, so we get some hazards in there. Get some T-Spikes, Sticky Webs as well. I'm curious to see how they'll do defensively, though. That was the one thing that kind of stood out about this team that I wasn't a big fan of, because there's no true walls, I would say, true bulk. I mean, you've got Blastoise, and then Gourgeist can do some stuff too, and then I guess Orbeetle a little bit as well. But just nothing that, I feel like it's going to struggle sometimes just from week to week in regards to if they lose momentum. It kind of stops some stuff. But overall, really solid team, 7.05. I believe this team, honestly, will probably do pretty well. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the playoffs. All right. Coming in at number 4, we have the Red Spark Vikavolt, who picked up the new G-Max Cinderace. Solid pick there. And then also getting Rillaboom. 2 great early picks right there. They complement each other well. I like that we have a little bit of rain too. Just not a lot, but enough. This team's actually pretty quick when you look at it. It's really good speed tiers. Pretty decent bulk as well between the Hitmontop, Mandibuzz, and then Klefki with screens will be nice. And then Politoed can also be bulky from week to week. The only thing I'm curious about with this team is really going to be the dollar pick. It was weird to me. Wasn't exactly sure what that was for, but overall, I really like this team. Could do with a little bit more hazard stacking, but I guess with Klefki and Garbodor, it's pretty good on that. So we'll give it a nice solid 7. And let's just go on down to number 5. Number 5, we've got Atlanta, who gets Urshifu. I believe it is single strike, if I'm correct. But I really like this team as well, with the Jirachi pick as well to complement it. Yeah, it is single strike. So I really like this team as well with the Jirachi. G-Max Toxicity is going to be pretty nice. Weezing Galar, good. Clutch is also scary. Pretty decent bulk as well. Let's see what here. Overall, I like this team. I'm kind of curious to see how it all fits together. Kind of knocked it a little bit for potential synergy issues, but I think between Weezing and Orbeetle will be able to take enough of the bulk there. But yeah, overall pretty good team. Is able to get hazards and stuff going. Let's see. And yeah, moving on down to number 6, we're gonna have the Green Bay Pac-Leons, who, by the way, we are working on your logo. I just did not get to it yet, but it will be coming out. So for now, you get the giant GIF. But yeah, overall, very good team here. I like the Dragapult pick early. I'm curious to see if it does better this go-round. Last season, it was kind of meh, but I think in the right hands will do well. G-Max Rillaboom's, I mean, that's a strong pick. Very strong pick. I like that a lot. The only thing that kind of sticks out to me on this is going to be defensively. I don't think it has the best walls besides Reuniclus. Is there? I mean, look like he's also tough to break at times, so I guess it has some, but nothing like true walls that I like to see. The regenerator is gonna be nice, so it should make up for it with that. Decent in regards to hazards, so I like that. It has enough hazards to kind of get stuff out, but let's see. Only hazard removal is going to be Scyther and Rotom, so that's a little limiting because Scyther is going to be wanting to carry boots, and I don't think it's going to want to have defog. It gets defog, I believe. But so you'll kind of expect to see Rotom carrying defog most weeks. But overall, pretty solid team. We're giving it a 6.8. Let's see, coming on down to number 7, we've got the Antwerp Absols, who started. This team is sneaky. I didn't like it as it was being drafted, but as I kind of look at it as a whole now, it's pretty good. Melmetal will dominate opponents in prep. We've seen that before, so that's a solid pick there. This team lacks a little bit of like true speed. Zorak is nice, but I mean it is what it is. But I think with the Sun, this team actually has the potential to be pretty scary. Venusaur setting up with growth and then going to the GMX, I feel like it's going to just wreck lives. So that's going to be pretty nice there, paired up with Melmetal. The one thing I want to see what you do with Marcactus. I've never seen that drafted, so I'm excited to see that. Good hazards with Skarmory and decent hazard removal with Skarmory and Sandslash. Sandslash, kind of meh pick, but we'll see. That was the one pick I wasn't a big fan of. I'd actually take Marcactus over that. And besides Skarmory being your other removal, I think like hazards can stack up on this team semi-decently. But overall, good team, 6.75. And then coming into number 8 is the Roll Street Raichu. So I actually like this team more than the rating suggests. The only thing is it doesn't have anything that's really just going to bop you in the face besides kind of a Braviary. Mew needs to set up. G-Max Grimmsnarl is always a good pick. And then I do like the walls that we have here with the Seismitoad and Arcanine and then a little bit of Druddigon too. And I guess you can get there Mr. Rhyme kind of Venusaur sets. But nothing just like... This team just feels like it's missing one thing to kind of take it up the next step. But I do like the fact that we got Seismitoad with hazards. Oh yeah, it was hazard removal. It kind of struggles with hazard removal. Just solely with the fact that we're going to have, like, Braviary is going to be your main thing there. I mean, I guess Mew can defog, but I mean, it's not exactly ideal. And Mew can be defensive, but now you're just kind of limiting your options and what you can do in regards to setup and just kind of pressuring your opponent. But Mew is kind of the answer, the end-all be-all fix to most teams. So, like I said, I think this team's better than the rating that I gave it, but time will tell with that. All right, coming into number 9, we have the New York Blastoise, which something about this team was weird to me. I don't like that there's not a lot of, besides after Charizard, like G-Max's and Terrakion, there's not a ton of crazy offensive pressure. I think Golisopod's overrated as a pick. I hate the ability. Piloswine's it's a good tier 4, tier 5. I can't remember which tier it is. But it's also always a solid pick. Hydreigon's a good pick there. But I just feel like this team kind of lacks the ability to keep momentum if it gets behind. You have no way to really pivot out between picks. The Slowbro, the Teleport is good. But I just feel like it's kind of lackluster in the damage department outside of the G-Max and Terrakion. But we'll see how this goes. The Shiinotic pick, not bad. That's not bad, but I don't think it was needed on this team. Let's see what else. Struggles with hazard removal is big on this. We've got one mon, 2 technically, but one that neither one you want to be your designated hazard removal. So I think hazards will be an issue for this team as it stands currently. But it's early. We'll see what happens. Coming into number 10, we have the Russian No Retreat, who have Urshifu, Rapid Strike. So that's also a solid strong pick there. We'll kind of see what the rest of this team does. It just, outside of that, it's kind of meh. Not a ton of damage output. Dragalge is a good pick. Weavile can be good situationally. The team just kind of lacks bulk also, like true bulk. There's no like real good walls at Palisand, I guess, and then Incineroar to an extent. But it's kind of going to be a little tough for that team to kind of get things going. It also struggles with hazards, too. If you don't bring Espeon, they're kind of free to set it up. I mean, you have Rotom for defog, but I believe in, I guess, Togekiss. But, again, you're gonna be stuck running Boots if you're going to run hazard removal from Togekiss, so I'm not a big fan of that. I mean, I guess you don't have to run Boots, but I feel like hazards will stack on this team as well, and that kind of seems to be a bit of a trend towards the lower bit. We'll give it a 6.15, so not bad. These ratings were out of 10. Should have said that earlier, but we'll kind of see. I do not like the Stunfisk Galar pick. I think it's a bad mon. I almost drafted it myself until I looked at it, and it's just meh. Not good. But we'll see. All right, and then number 11 is going to be the Route 2 Rattata. So let's start with things I like about this team. I love all the bulk. I think that's amazing bulk. There's a lot of it everywhere. But what I do not get is the sun and then the hail. The sun and the veil. I just feel like they kind of work against each other a little bit. Corviknight doesn't really appreciate the sun being out there too much. I feel like Torkoal could have been used for something else. Also, this team is offensively not there. And your biggest offensive threats are Kyurem and potentially Savali and Lapras maybe. But you just don't really have a lot of high damage output going off, and nor do you have a lot of speed in that regard. So I think that's going to be a bit of an issue if their opponent is able to kind of break through them. Defensively, they'll kind of struggle with that. But we'll see. I mean, but bulk has won before and kind of get you through some stuff. But just I didn't like the lack of offense on this team. Was the biggest thing that stood out to me. Let's see here. And you have only one hazard setter too, so that's going to be kind of an issue going forward, but we'll see. Ditto can also kind of fix that a little bit, though, so it's not like your opponent's going to be able to set up for free, most likely, against you. But the defense was great. The lack of hazard was not so good, but the hazard removal is at least decent, so we'll keep that up there. And I'm just curious to see how the team fits together. I feel like it doesn't, struggles appreciating each other a little bit. And then rounding us out is the New England Patrats, who started off, honestly, I love your first 3 picks. The Dracovish, Corsola, and Porygon Z are strong. I bet money there's going to be a trade coming in for Phalanx. I have a feeling that pick was more or less so based off the No Retreat. So that's kind of a slight error in the rules there. Wasn't specified with it being in the tier that it was. It's there, the rules, but I think they probably just didn't see that when they were drafting it. Malamar, it's okay. Dreadnought, G-Max. I just feel like there's just better picks, honestly, instead of that. It's G-Max maybe it's just not so great. If there was rain with this team, it'd probably be better. But Toxapec's also a nice pick. So, I mean, you have some good pieces. I think just a few trades can honestly bring this team, honestly, way up if we kind of swap some stuff out. But never know. Snorlax can do some stuff. I'm a bigger fan of Virizion than most people are. I like that. It's sneaky, bulky on the defensive side. But honestly, I think some trades in this team could be a ton better. But yeah, guys, that's going to be the first power rankings. We'll probably do this probably try and do it every quarter of the season, to be honest with my schedule. But yeah, we'll keep it going. And good luck, guys. Enjoy.